Howdy y'all, Fuzzy Biker here. We're in the mighty mini-tropolis of Marnie, Iowa at Baxter Cycle. And look what we have today. This is a beautiful machine, and we are gonna see if you can go 100 miles on that, if a guy like me can go 100 miles on that and still have fun. So it's quite an aggressive seating bike for me. It's got one of these Royal Enfield hot rod seats on with the Royal Enfield cone. They put this MK design fairing on it. Really good looking fairing. Ventura blue is the color. Tech 2-in-1 Stinger exhaust. Isn't that just beautiful? It still has the restrictor on the end, so we're not going to make quite as much noise as we'd like. Let's see, it's got brake stones on the back and the front. Oh, I had brake stones on one of my bike Battle Axes. I just love them. Yeah, that's a Battle Axe tire. So this ought to be fun. We're going to see what it's all about. Just a quick rundown on the specs. It's a 648cc overhead cam, 240-degree crank. It's a 2-cylinder, inlines 2 with an air-cooled, oil-cooled engine, 4-valve per cylinder. It makes a beautiful noise when it's running. 6-speed transmission. I think this cranks out a whopping, as shifters backwards, pegs are back farther. Cranks out a whopping 47 horsepower and 39 foot-pounds of torque. That's 53 Newton meters. Front disc is a 320 millimeter floating disc with a twin pot, 2-piston. I think these are Byries caliper, and the back is a 240, I believe, 240 millimeter fixed piston single pot. Shocks are the stock Royal Enfield stock, same with the front end. Fork tubes are 41 millimeter with 4.3 inches of travel. That's about 110 millimeters. The rear, I believe, has 3.5. I think it's 3.5 inches of travel, and that's about 89, 90 millimeters. Wheelbase on this hot rod, 55.1 inches. I like that a lot. 1,400 millimeters, that is. And the seat height in stock form, this is not stock, might be even thinner, 31.7 inches. That's 105 millimeters. Fuel tank capacity is 3.6 gallons. That's 13.6 liters. And this bike is supposed to weigh about 445 pounds. It looks like a whole barrel of fun, doesn't it? That's about 202 kilograms, by the way. So the color again, Ventura blue. It's got the white race stripe. I love red, but if I were to get a Continental, it would be this color blue. I just love this color. I mean, look at that. The silver on the tank. Oh, that's raised up slightly. You know, the white stripe, the Monza style cap. You know, just a gorgeous, gorgeous motorcycle. What else can I tell you about this hot rod? I think what I'm going to tell you is that I am going to, there it is, MK design. I'm going to get my gear on and we're going to go for a ride. Let's go. Wahoo! 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Looks like it has 11,862 miles on it. A little bit of a pop. Take it easy on this thing. Yeah, it's got a little bit of an aggressive feel to it. Definitely leaning forward a lot. The seat so far is comfortable for the first 10 minutes. First 3 minutes. Let's see what we got here, huh? We'll do our spin test right here. How's that sound? The seating position is very different for me, so it's a little more unusual. I don't know if I've ever ridden, or in a long time anyway, ridden a bike with this much rake, or this much lean forward, I should say. Very aggressive feeling. Okay, we've got about 42 miles on this bike so far today. I've got some opinions on the seating position of this bike. It's some sort of device, I'll tell you. But let's go over some of the basics. First off, can you hear that muffler? That pipe? I just love it. I love the classic gauges. Tack on the right, speed on the left. There's a fuel gauge in here, trip meters, A, B. A and B, yes, and an odometer. On the left hand, we've got a flash to pass, high-low, blinkers, and a horn. Can you hear it? I can. Ha! On the right hand, it's a kill switch and a start switch, it looks like. So let's talk about some of the hardware this bike contains. Let's go slow here. The bike has this wonderful seat. I'm just kidding. It's not very well padded. It's pretty thin padded, but it is comfortable amazingly. For what it is comfortable. There's no sharp edges. It works pretty good. It cups you in, so when you slide back, it holds you. I think they have the rear suspension set up pretty stiff. Riding it, the front feels pretty normal, but the back end is definitely set up higher, I think. Whoever had this bike, I'm going to check that when we get back to the shop. Whoever had it, I think, put it up a bit. And that's what you want if you're going to ride hard on roads like this. The engine itself, I think the Tech Stinger, Tech 2-in-1 Stinger header is just an excellent add to any motor, any bike like this. But the engine itself is just beautiful, and I love the 6-speed transmission. I mean, it's just really a work of art. I think this is our corner here. Now, the 6-speed transmission is awesome. I love it. These bikes have phenomenal transmission. The gear ratios are just right. They seem to work very well. This bike on the 2-lane blacktop is just an awesome machine. Between 60 and 90 miles an hour. It's a very playful, very, I don't know what to call it. It's just a whole lot of fun. That's really where it's made to live, I think. As far as the brakes go on this bike, I think they have very good brakes. Modern brakes on virtually all motorcycles are good anymore. And I think Royal Enfield has done a good job of balancing, the systems on their bikes. They're ABS, front and rear, I believe. Oh, this is just excellent. I just love this. This is awesome. Can y'all hear that pipe? Oh, it's just heaven. Heaven. The engine has very little engine. The bike has very little engine braking. So you really have to do that with the shifting and the actual brakes themselves. That is a rev limiter. A little bouncy pavement there. The bike seems to soak that right up. That stiff rear suspension works very good for that. This thing is a machine. I love it. I absolutely love it. We're going to talk about the ride later because this is the ride that you want to know about right now. Oh man, is this thing fun. This thing is a barrel of monkeys fun. I am in heaven. Oh, this is a hoot. A hoot. Imagine getting used to this thing. I hope that pipe is coming through the GoPro. It's phenomenal. A little blind corner here. I don't like those that much. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. I love it. Do some downshifting here. Head hard through the corner. And we have made it to Crescent. What do you do when you get to Crescent? Well, you turn around. What else would you do on a road like that, huh? Wow, I just love this machine. I am in love. This has made the drive, torturous drive here, absolutely worth it. Let's let those cars get ahead a little bit here. What a grin! What a grin! I want to look at something over here real quick. Cuts like a knife. Okay, here it is. Look at all these logs. I believe that is walnut. Check it out. Wow, there is a fortune of that stuff there. All right, let's roll. Boy, I got to get the feel for that rev limiter yet. Beautiful back. This is the Lost Hills of Iowa, the beginnings of it. Just a beautiful area. I talked about the ride over here, and I've got 48 miles on the bike now. The first 10 miles were torturous. My back was hurting. I was having trouble. I did some arm stretches while riding. I haven't been off the bike since we got on it. Got to about the 20-mile mark, and I was pretty, starting to feel pretty good. My middle back by 25 and 30 miles was starting to get not sore, but you know, I could feel it. What I'm saying is, if you're going to have a bike like this, ride it a lot because you need to get the muscles in the right shape, and I'm not in that shape. So let's talk about handling. When I pushed it out of Baxter Cycles, it was inside the shop. I had to weave it around motorcycles and things. It was very easy. With the clip-on bars, you get a little intimidated. You don't feel like you have as much control, but actually it was very good. These bars are actually quite high for clip-ons. In the parking lot at Baxter's, I did fine, no problems at all. I had one of the first crotch rocket type bikes in the 80s, early 80s, and that bike was notorious for trying to throw itself on the ground at low speeds. This is nothing like that. And this has a great handling at top speeds, you know, the higher speeds anyway. As far as going down the road goes, through Marnie, I thought it did pretty well. Part where this bike shines is the roads we're on right now, just behind us. But beyond that, it would be the 60 to 90 miles an hour on 2-lane blacktops. You know, the average Iowa back road, over the hills and curves and things like that. This thing just incredibly playful. It just does it right. It just does it right. I was very impressed with it. The seating position, you know, that comes into play there. Okay, a little traffic jam here. But again, like I said, once you got used to the seating position, it wouldn't be a problem at all. The pickup on this bike is phenomenal. I just love it. I mean, it just flies like a, oh, that fairing. So let's talk about the fairing. MK design fairing that they put on, a good color match, exact color match actually, Venturi blue. But it actually does quite a bit for you. At these speeds, it's keeping me, you know, I've got the wind on me from about shoulder heights up, but I'm pretty good otherwise. I mean, it's very comfortable. And by the way, I love the way it looks. I just love the way it looks. If I were to have this bike, I would definitely want that fairing, I believe. Let's see. I don't think I want to go that way. There goes our jogger. Well, let me think about it for a second. Nah, I don't think I do. I think we want to go back. What we will do is try to get ourselves back onto, what we'll do is get ourselves back to Baxter Cycle. And I think we'll take some Interstate. Boy, that header is nice. I just love it. I love it. Oh, that is good. That is good. Very controllable. Okay, there's too much traffic here, guys. We got to slow down. It is farm season in Iowa. The planning's going on. This is a big sprayer. The bike. Back to the bike. I'm absolutely in love with it. I think it's a great bike. If you can put up with the seating position, it's certainly worth having. Whatever you want to do, it kind of goes the direction you point it. It changes direction very easily. Now, I know the Interceptor probably does the same thing, but I think the aggressive stance of this, the narrower bars, gives you a little more of that feel. You know, I don't know how to explain it. It's very to the point handling, for sure. I love it. I love it. So we've talked about what the bike has. We've talked about seating and comfort and all that neat stuff. Comfort definitely does take a back seat to the aggressive riding stance. So let's talk about who would want this motorcycle. Well, I would want this motorcycle. Of course, I want every motorcycle, right? So who would want this? Well, somebody that wants a cafe style bike, somebody that wants a vintage motorcycle. This is not a vintage motorcycle, but it certainly looks like one. Somebody that wants a motorcycle that is easy to get along with. When you have a vintage motorcycle, I own a couple of them, they are a barrel of, you know, they're just a whole bunch of work to keep running right. You take them out and you ride them, you got to fix them when you get back, you got to fix them before you go. They leak on the, you know, they leak, they smell funny, they have all kinds of odd quirks and things like that. This does not have any of that. This is the kind of bike that you set in the garage, you put on the tender if you don't ride it for a while, or you just ride it every day and it just works. It works as Howdy y'all, Fuzzy Biker here. Just got back from 100 miles on that hot rod. What a ball that was. I got helmet head major, huh? Okay, I'm going to start off with, when I talked about who might want to buy this bike, I don't want to forget this part because this is really important. Look at the color on the pipes here. I don't think it had that earlier, huh? They look a lot better, warmer. Somebody that would buy this is somebody who wants to get into the cafe lifestyle and the hard riding, curvy road, you know, hard hitting, that kind of thing. And they want to learn how to control a bike like this. And a bike like this would be a good one for that. It's got plenty of power with the 47 stock horsepower, more with the header. And it's got very good brakes. You should have noticed that in the videos. I was very impressed with how predictable the brakes were on these things. Just excellent. And I do like these, I don't know what kind of tires these are. Bridgestone Battle Axe tires. The seat, it looks like a torture device, and it was kind of rough, but it doesn't have any hard points. You know, they didn't really have any sharp edges on it, so I was really impressed with it. And as you slid back, you know, it's got plenty of room to move, held you in the right spot. I liked it, and that color is just perfect, isn't it? All the way through. As far as the fairing goes, I think that's a good add to this. It did not feel heavy on the front end. I felt it did some good wind control, you know, just enough to keep it off your chest. I did the Interstate with this. I was doing some good numbers on the Interstate, and it just did really well. I was very impressed with the whole thing in that sense. I think the package as a whole is just terrific. It's a winner, guys. It's a winner. What else to say about it? The transmission, I love dancing on that shifter. In the turny, you know, curvy, the tight little road down there by Crescent. This thing was a real champ. It was a lot of fun. A whole lot of fun. And I'm a novice. I haven't learned how to ride. If you got this bike and you learned how to ride it, you would do very well with it. As far as comfort goes, if you got this bike and you rode it every day, you would get used to it. I'm stiff and sore right now, and I'm going to be sore all night, and I'm probably going to have to take some Tylenol or something because it was a real workout. And we did find that rev limiter, didn't we? All right, y'all. If you're interested in something like this, get yourself down here to the mighty metropolis of Marnie, Iowa. Find yourself at Baxter Cycle, the Royal Enfield building, the Triumph building. Talk to Jeremy or Mark. They can help you out. If you need a new, used Royal Enfield, Triumph, British vintage bike of any type, this is the place to be. Now, if it's nice out where you're at, get out there and ride. Wahoo! Very aggressive feeling. I think these are a little lighter than the Interceptors. Alrighty.